cycle through their stasises and through the front line like that.
That's the beauty of giving Long a champion that he could be super mobile and flashy on, because he causes so much distraction.
Nova don't have the chance to first pick this Corki away from Yezi, and so they ban it.
FPX say, damn, no Corki. Time to go back to the Karma, baby.
L plus no Corki plus pick Karma first plus ratio.
W for us.
Yeah. Well, Karma has been in a bit of a weird place, because I think she's actually really effective as a support character, but not very effective as a damage dealer.
Or as a mid laner or a dragon laner.
Yeah, that's my feeling. And it's, you know, the support character doesn't necessarily mean that Lei Yi should be playing it. In fact, I think Yezi should be playing it. But it does mean that Yezi is going to have far less damage than he has in previous games. So, we'll see if that's a negative or a positive as we get into this.
Nova Esports contest the Karma by saying, we're going to go back to our Ziggs for Remake, who topped the damage charts at the end of the game.
Yeah, dude!
One team fight, 6.2k damage.
Remake sitting at the very back poking, and he's going to try to do that again, which means I need to see FPX draft tools that can reach him, that can actually threaten him.
Oh,
dude! Dude!
That's one way to do it.
That's crazy! That's exactly what I just asked for! 0711 does play a really good Kha'Zix.
Yes.
Kind of going back to one of the things that made FPX really scary originally in the Nationals qualifiers for the WRL, which at that time was a Morgana Kha'Zix composition. This time it is now a Karma Kha'Zix composition. Karma is now out in the game, so that helps. And they're going to try and use that lockdown, especially now that they have a Riven as well, to drop people low, and then the Kha'Zix jumps in and cleans up the kills. What do you do if you're Nova Esports and you see that? You go, okay, well, let's get a big crocodile, and then we're not scared of that burst so much.
We need the crocodile to squash the bug so that our demolition expert in Remake Ziggs can effectively nuke FPX out of the game and out of the tournament. But one thing for 0711 on this Kha'Zix, this is the champion that he got the most MVPs on during the regular season, in the grand finals, and he even ended the last game winning the championship with a pentakill to top it off.
So it's very much what you want FPX to do. Man, we're on the brink of elimination at our international final, at the first ever world final for Wild Rift, with this pick that's not going our way, this draft that feels like it's falling apart, so you go to the comfort picks.
Yes.
And here is another version of that, as we do have the lock-in of a Singed. The Singed, I think, was supposed to appear on stage, but he was instantly deleted because Nova knew exactly what they wanted next. That's a Rakan for Yami, his star character. We're getting all of the comfort picks. He's got his Rakan, or his Renekton. Yami's got his Rakan. Remake's got his Ziggs. This is everything that Nova want, and on the opposite side for FPX, they've got everything they want.
And Lei, 3 different champions so far this time around. What could be the last champion that he plays on stage is the set. Something that has incredible playmaking ability. It has to match, and it has to outpace Yami's Rakan here.
And I want to highlight that in particular, because the one thing that FPX have done that I have been asking for them to do all series that defines their team fights when they play regularly is everyone on this team has an engage tool. Everyone on this team has control of the team fights, something that has been lacking in their previous drafts. And now with this return to form, it forces Nova to shift things up. They know that Long cannot straight carry this game without the ability to ignore all of that lockdown. So, yet again, they play to the front line. It's going to be Long and Yiza on this Renekton, diving into the front lines. Maybe it's actually Nyan on this Renekton. We'll see as the draft gets solidified. But those two characters will dive in and occupy the front lines. And then during that time, Remake will be chipping away. You'll use Yami's CC to start fights, Nyan and Long's HP bars to prolong fights.
FPX home as we get onto the Rift for Game 3 between FPX and Nova Esports.
Match points in our semifinals. Nova maybe just 20 minutes away from being our first finalist.
Not the outcome that many expected going into this series. FPX, the #1 seed from the WRL. Nova was just a challenger looking to take the crown and the throne. And they might be able to do that in this last game.
Let's start the game as we always do, by checking in on our junglers. Long needs a lot of early farm, unlike when he's playing the Lee Sin and he can show up in lanes and force fights. Olaf doesn't have good fight starting tools. Olaf needs his laners to find CC and stun. And that means that the only places Nova can really gank, provide early pressure, are up here on the top lane with Yeezus Renekton, and down on the bottom side with Yami's Engage. I would suspect that Yami is going to leave this lane pretty quick, and all of Long's early pressure is going to match where either Yabi or Yeeza are on the map.
0711 checking into the mid lane, making sure that Yezi can contest the minion wave push.
And yet another reason why this game is going to revolve around the top side. In what world is ganking a singed fun?
Only if you can get the flash flip, TJ.
Yeah. So, Yezi going to kind of neutralize any presence from Long in the middle of the map. You see that happening as I speak on it. And so, FPX have the right idea instead. 0711 kiting up here, playing near Fado.
Whereas Long and Neon pivoting their power over towards the dragon side of the map. Xiaoma and Lei have to forfeit pressure. Two-man knockup from Yami does connect. It's just chip damage for now.
It's all on Yami to start this fight. Nobody else has the tools.
Yami doesn't have grand entrance, but the root,
here's the on.
It connects from Xiaoma. Buy some time for the rest of FPX to re-engage and get back to the safety of the minion wave.
And they don't find the fight starter. Nova don't have the engage tools they had last game. And that means that they don't get the fight. FPX managed to survive the early pressure. Iza can't finish this kill on Defado, though it is close.
He thought about flashing forward. He had Dominus available, might have been able to trade Summoner for Summoner, but he has the advantage over Fado. He has to recall.
Yeah, Fado, vulnerable at this point of the game. Renekton is pretty much the apex predator at this stage of a lane. Can beat pretty much anyone in the 1v1. So it makes sense that he is winning these trades, and I would in fact even praise FPX's Fado for how stable they are keeping that lane. As long as he doesn't die, he is winning. You saw 0711 taking some of his CS earlier, very much indicative of where the game plan is for FPX.
You know, thankfully for both Fado and Itse, they are familiar to how dominant a Renekton lane can turn out to be. Giving the respect over to Yitze early in this lane from Fado. He has to take it as gracefulness that Yitze hasn't been able to kill him quite yet. FPX will be able to find ways to restructure an advantage into the mid game after the laning phase concludes.
Pressing forward again. Fado opting into the 1v1. Saved his cooldowns for after the stun, but Yeeza disengaged so well. Yeeza's Renekton is pixel perfect. And it earns him yet another advantage.
He's been outplaying him in almost every trade so far. Something that some of the best Renektons we saw dominate.
Full rotate from Nova. They're trying to shut down Fado. Here we go.
Turret resistances are about to drop in the next 5 seconds. Nova are here early so that they can take full advantage. Lei, 3-man, 2-man facebreaker. That's a lot of damage on the Yitze. Forced to pop the Nominus, and they have to run. Way too threatening. Lei! Beautiful interception. The alley-oop right back into FPX for first blood.
Lei finds first blood for FPX, stepping up. Yes, Yami is talking trash. But who won that fight in Game 3? It's FPX getting the lead, and simultaneously, they did a whole lot of damage trying to force a fight on the opposite side of the map. FPX took that entire battle up top at a player disadvantage, and were able to take swings and occupy the time of Remake during that.
And this is crucial just right before the objectives are about to spawn in the next 20 seconds.
And I don't think FPX can take the team fights yet. They don't quite have the damage. You're still waiting on first item completion for Yezi, which is when he starts to do actual damage. You're still waiting on a whole lot of major abilities to come up from gold, essentially. And so FPX should take whatever they're given. They instead get to force the pace here, though, because they won the top lane skirmish.
Long securing the dragon, whereas FPX, because of the pressure surmounted on the top side of the map, will get Rift Herald. They can snowball this further and more gold accelerated.
Yeah, that's a very good trade for FPX. A team that will always prefer Rift Herald anyway. The only exception maybe being Infernal Drake. So they get exactly what they want because of that top lane skirmish, because Nova did not have control of the top side of the map, and they settled for less.
Nova playing for the long game right here. Dude, this is such a brutal matchup.
I love Fado pushing it, though, Because he has lost these trades, it is a very hard 1v1 to win early in the game, and at every opportunity he's trying anyway, stepping in. Neon knows. This is Neon knows exactly what's up here.
Won't fall for the trap.
Proto Belt? No, it doesn't happen.
Now he does. Unfortunately, it wasn't there in time. But for FPX, they're going to shift their attentions towards the Baron side of the map, see if they can catch out Yusei before he gets a chance to reset.
Fado stepping forward here, forcing ult.
Ultimate's out of both champions here. Wind Slash gets some damage, but Yusei with the barrier negates the execution from Fado.
And I even was prepared for Fado to force the ult and then back away. Be like, okay, well, I got the Dominus now for free. I'm going to run away now. No, he stays there. He keeps trying to force the fight. Fado, one of, if not the best duelists in the WRL. And now they're setting up for a kill. Here's Long as well.
Oh, Lei doesn't want to be here. If it's just Yusei, that's whatever, but when Long shows up and he's got the Ragnarok, it doesn't matter what CC that you throw at him.
Yet another example of how well these two teams know each other. Yusei doesn't go back into his lane until he's called Dad.
Thanks, Dad. Oh, Yezi. He's got to get out, but he gets ignited, so now he's forced to stay under the turret while the Ignite is burning him down.
Yummy really battle dancing in just to drop an Ignite.
Hell yeah, dude.
And Yezi lingering here until Xiaomao shows up, so this turret doesn't get melted. Xiaomao and Lane will roam in, respond to the pressure.
Yeah, Yami just using a great example of tempo, keeping Yezi longer on the map than he would have liked.
It's unclear what that's going to convert into. It does give Nova the tempo advantage, which means they get to set the pace of play across the map. Right now they're going to bring all the resources that were bottom over to mid, where only Yezi stands to defend.
Dude, these two have just been slugging at each other. And I'm here for it.
And Fado's use of stuns is really interesting. He's front-loading them perfectly so that he can keep Yiza chain CC'd. Rift Herald summoned here. Long here to defend. Remake here to defend as well.
That's back, and boom! Mega Inferno Bomb sends 0711 back to the fountain. Long, undeterred, is continuing to advance forward before Fado gets replenished health from the Honey Fruit.
Nova with a perfect rotate. Bring Remake in time to get the kill. And now they run the top side of the map for 8 more seconds with 0711 dead. It's a massive advantage to Nova. They shut down the scaling pressure, and with the player advantage, they're going to get this bottom turret.
That should be first brick for the side of Nova Esports, getting everything in what could be FPX's last game of the tournament.
A massive problem for FPX, who are still on the brink of elimination. As these next objectives come up, they need to play the fight perfectly. This is the first fight this game where they will have their full resources, so you can expect them to step up into it. Now, normally FPX are the best team fighting team in the WRL, but Nova have been matching them with layered attacks. I outlined those. The setup for FPX is a kiting defense. They need to use the breadth of time and the number of CCs they have to extend the fight as long as possible. Let Yezi cook Nova Esports, and once those HP bars are low, it is Fado and 0711 who you are looking to shut down Nova.
Yami helping Yitse push in this wave so they can get to the Rift Herald in time, but FPX, they're the ones first to the pit.
So, Nova, burst engage, use the stuns, followed by the Mega Inferno Bomb. FPX, extend the fight, slow it down, buy space for 0711 to get flank kills. Here we go for the semifinals.
0711 forced onto the right side of the flank. Fado.
Missed a cooldown. He can't go over that wall for a bit.
Yitse forced into the pit right now. 3,000 HP onto the Rift Herald. Yitse pops the Dominus. Fado missing the stun. Looking for the knockup. There's the big one onto Long, but he cancels out with the Ragnarok. Transcendent Embrace doesn't get anything done. It is Long that secures the Rift Herald, and Nova Esports blinking, trying to get out, but it is still Long on the aggressive. They don't find anyone from FPX, but they get the objective.
Nobody from FPX dies, as you say, but they lose so much ground. They're going to lose at least 2 turrets here. Rift Herald denied, actually.
All flip. They're going to be close here.
It's gone.
Good job from FPX, but Nova will still get the turret on the top side.
Only 1 turret lost. Now, the next loss from that fight is going to be priority over the Infernal Drake, the most important track in this game. And FPX are racing in with Nova already setting up vision.
Nice. Oh, Long is going to
Long's
pull the
just
dragon
burning it.
right into the blanket of darkness. Lei is the only one that has eyes on it.
Fado's on the opposite side of the map. He's going to be late to this fight. Here comes 0711.
0711 has to pull out a miracle. Hits 2400 HP. He's blinking out. He goes still invisible. Can he steal it out? Does he get it? 0711 potentially have saved the game for FPX, but now they got to survive the team fight. But they are cruising through it here, TJ. FPX do more than survive. They thrive.
A stolen team fight, a stolen dragon, and FPX are still in this series.
Lei, proto-belting forward, gets the showstopper down. He's locked up Yami, and a haymaker lands the knockout punch onto
Remake's
Yami's
dead.
face. Remake is gone. That's the prime.
Gaming!
Ace for FPX.
And Nova have to keep running backwards further and further, kiting as the singe damage ticks away. Look at this aggression, getting Yezi into the pit, and Yezi spends this entire team fight running unhindered through all of it, cooking their HP bars and setting 0711 up to do what he does best, fight kill after kill and steal away the dragon.
The invisibility usage was so clutch there, dodging out of the fights, waiting for the dragon to be burned down, clips it, and then does the same to knock out stragglers from Nova.
Lei tanking the turret here as long as possible to ensure they manage to find those dive kills, shutting down Remake, and for once giving their coach something to cheer about.
FPX. A huge, huge burst of momentum being swung back into their sails. It's the win that they needed to find that confidence, to find that pillar that they can rebuild a potential reverse sweep on.
An injection of life into this team.
Yes.
And it's, like you said, a start. FPX still in a very close game against a team that has kept them at arm's reach all series. Here we go.
600 HP, Lei wants to step up, can't get it.
Perfect use of the Mega Inferno Bomb to clear and protect that turret. It'll still be under threat on the top side, but that's a 3v3 now, and thus very dicey for FPX. They're going to get poked and prodded away at by Remake and Neon, who in future fights I expect to see utilized far more. Nova tried to go for a full engage there. In the future, they'll kite.
Long popping the Righteous Glory. Yitse also using the Dominus. They're just saying, get off my tower.
And they survive by 1 HP. That won't last for very long.
I mean, Long is gonna try to make it not happen, but Fado just says,
Long. I get it.
Fado says, no, this is my tower.
Yeah, turret taken. FPX rotate their entire team across the map, anticipating some resistance from Nova. And Nova quite rightly back away. Oh, Remake.
Lei might have been caught out here. Still has
he knows
flash.
where Remake is.
Showstopper. Oh, I don't think that was the direction that he wanted to go. He's landed himself right into 3 people.
No.
But Lei still manages to walk out alive.
Very good movement in the middle of that by Remake. Remake changed directions at just the perfect time so that the Showstopper ult took Lei back into the rest of the team, and then Lei played that off perfectly. Found a 3-man stun and stalled for long enough that he didn't go down. So, yet again, 2 incredible players facing off in the top side of the map, and nobody wins except us. The viewer.
Fado.
Can't go in here. He's just trying to maintain vision on Nova. He's trying to make sure that they can set up for the skirmish around the Baron, which is now up. So if either team gets a Prime Gaming ace, they will turn that into an objective take.
FPX, they're currently with the gold lead. Huge stun onto Yami, but now he finds an opportunity. 2-man knockup, Mega Inferno Bomb. Good stasis though from Fado.
Fado stasis is the damage, and Lei Haymaker is the damage. And then they redemption away any chips. So FPX got some major cooldowns burned there. That's most of the engage gone.
Yami no more quickness, but gets a 2-man knockup once again. Yitse layers it down with the dominance, gets a lot of burn damage. Lei, good haymaker! Long is silenced by 0711 and the rest of FPX.
And it's Xiaomo as well with perfect karma play in that fight. Winning another pick for FPX. And oh my lord, they are doing this. Burning the Baron to try and force a response out of Nova.
They are wasting no time here, TJ. They see a way back into finding momentum in the series, but they cannot finish off the Baron.
Yeah, it's not about finishing the Baron there. It's about trying to make Nova step into a fight in a 4v5. That was their dream because Long is dead so they can start a fight, is the theory.
Yitse, no more dominance this time around.
Scooped.
He's been separated. Mega Inferno Bomb gets a lot of burst damage out. And Yitse manages to survive the onslaught.
Did you see Yezi toss him onto the end of the adhesive?
Yeah.
That was incredible. Really good combos by FPX, but they don't get a kill for it, and indeed during that time, Nova pushed through mid, so it backfires a little bit. The gold lead still infinitesimal, but leaning towards FPX. As we head towards this next dragon, these two teams are dead even, still scrabbling for a semi-final.
The Infernal Dragon was won by FPX. Nova this time around now know that FPX are willing to throw haymakers right back into this game. They have to be cautious in the next entrance.
Xiaoma does not have, Fado does not have TP, and he was roaming up to the top side to try and correct that wave. He ends up not doing it. So Nova do have a pushing wave in the top side of the map. They want to stall out here as a result. Use the poke of Remake, use the poke of Neon.
Dragon has been started up, 6,000 HP already. Nova trying to poke from afar.
Yeah, they successfully stall this out, stop it, reset it. Neon alone in the middle of the map, though. Neon grounded in the middle of the map, though.
Yeah, Lei is willing to trade his life if necessary because the mid laner going down for Nova.
The Burning Dragon.
They're trying to get something out of nothing here. They need to be able to make the trade advantage. 0711 tries to flash forward, but it is still long. That clutches out the Dragon. Flashing for Lei, but he gets burned down by the remaining members of FPX here. Nova now on the retreat. Fado trying to keep them in vision sight. Nova managed to get out alive with the Dragon, but at the cost of Long and Neon.
Yeah, 2 kills in exchange for an Ocean Dragon. FPX may take that because they can now turn immediately onto the Baron. The jungler is dead, and they will start what could be the final objective of this game. They probably don't finish the Baron here, but they know that. They're just trying to force Nova to make yet more mistakes. Force them to make a terrible choice.
Yami over the wall. Remake doesn't have Mega Inferno Bomb to follow up, but maybe just the normal abilities will do enough damage here. Yitse goes golden, flashing away. Critical timing, 4,000 HP. Mega Inferno Bomb finally comes up. A lot of damage down, burning the members of FPX. Can they come? Remake with the clutch Baron steal over the wall, and he's able to take out the GA of 0711. Yes, he goes down, but he stops FPX on their roll.
Remake saves the game for Nova Esports. If Remake does not somehow, with a bouncing bomb, steal away the Baron, this series would have continued for another game. Nova still have the chance now to eliminate FPX. Let's take a look at that replay.
Just incredible stuff. Look at how he's positioned right over the Baron pit. Yami and Yitse doing all the grunt work.
The start of this fight is really good for FPX because they are baiting Nova into the pit where they know Yezi is going to cook them. They win this fight over the extent of time. The only differentiator to that is Remake, who is landing huge bombs the entire time. He's the only equalizer for a stacking Singed sitting inside the Baron pit. You will notice FPX prioritize those kinds of fights where Yezi is guaranteed sustained damage over the course of the fight. That is their dream fight.
And while FPX still have the gold advantage over Nova, they know that had they been the ones that got the Baron buff, they could have led into a push and moved on to game 4.
Now, with a Baron in their hand, it's going to be Nova who can stall things out for a bit.
Remake is currently separated from the members of Long and Neon, so they can't follow up outside of the Mega Inferno Bomb, which has already been expended.
And Nova are still in striking distance. They can still win a team fight very easily, despite the gold swing towards FPX. Their team fights come mostly from Remake and Iza at this point. Iza will be the frontline tank, the staller, the occupier. Remake will be the player doing all of the damage. He's about to complete Rabadon's death cap, which will be a major power spike on the opposite side. Xiaoma has completed Rabadon's death cap, but doesn't do as much damage.
Have to be careful for Nova Esports. Remake, his Mega Inferno Bomb coming back up. Flash and Stasis almost online once again. Defensive survival tools that will allow him to continue putting out damage against FPX.
And FPX are all about finding the engage now. They need a 5v5 to end this game. Nova just want to sit behind their turrets and extend and last until long enough that their key damage dealers are online. They do have a formidable late game scale. And they reckon they can win the team fights through the power of late game Olaf, should he be able to engage, through the power of Remake, having now completed Rabadons. Danger to it over on FPX's side. Yezi is coming online. He's going to be very difficult to kill in these team fights, and he is going to do a ton of damage in the extended ones. Additionally, Lei and Fado are going to become even more difficult frontline engagers. Those players, Fado will be doing a ton of damage, and Lei will be almost unkillable, having completed Gargoyle's Stone Plate. This is a dominant support performance. He's going to be massive, and that is Warmonks, not Gargoyles.
It's a lot of HP.
Yeah.
And it gives him not even more durability to withstand the burst of damage from Nova, but it also gives him the ability to tank up and be able to continue looking for flanks.
Because it gives you boosted regen, and set regen is already stupid. So he can like take the fight, back away, and be back at full HP in like 5-10 seconds. So really good for these extended skirmishes, these extended fights. It basically neutralizes all the poke that's coming out from Remake and Dion. Because if Lei can just take it to the forehead and then regrow all that HP, nobody cares.
It's all about re-engaging, fighting in waves for FPX.
So 30 seconds on the Elder, which likely will decide the game. This Elder fight is going to be the difference maker if FPX want to stay in this series.
Oh, Yami has
caught
found Pondo! Mega Inferno Bomb connects, and the GA has been popped. Can FPX find a way to re-engage? 0711 finds Remake, gets the flash out. He only has a stasis now, and he has to kite as far away as possible. It's all up to the front line of Nova to be able to put out the damage without necessarily needing a Remake. 0711! The pentakill Kha'Zix comes back alive in the most clutch fight that they needed for another Prime Gaming ace.
And they'll push through the mid lane. They don't need either objective. This is going to be the game. This is FPX keeping our series going and striking back against Nova.
FPX had to recover from 2 incredible games that Nova Esports demonstrated in the opening of the series. But when it came to shove, 0711 on the Kha'Zix, isolating the crucial target in Remake, forcing the flash.
I think that was the FPS coach with very restrained. Yes, we did it.
Yes.
Good.
We survive another day.
Yes.
Basically.
We're very restrained and just nice little period to the game. But yes, 0711, as we should say, that was the performance that we were waiting for ever since game 1. I feel we knew that this was going to be a jungle versus jungle matchup with these, with Long and 0711. It's only now that he was able to really feel comfortable in it, and we really saw that definitely made an impact.
Yeah, I think there's a very... When we look at game number 1 and game number 2, right, the way that Nova plays is very push and pull heavy. They push in, then they back away, wait for resources,